This week, the ever popular, the ever wanderer, the ever on the road, Richard Mori. Did I get that right?
And you got that right, the road warrior.
Richard Mori with us this week from New Hampshire. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Rare Book Cafe, the coffee break edition. And my guest host, Linn from Ridge Books in Calhoun, Georgia. Hello, Lee.
Hello, Ed, and hello, Richard.
Good morning, everybody.
And
Richard who?
Richard,
Richard who?
it's Richard Ware.
And Richard Mori joining us from Europe and New Hampshire today.
I'm in New Hampshire still, but next week I'm actually going to be in a new location, which I'm not going to tell you where yet.
Okay.
Are you going to be wearing a red striped shirt and a knit cap? Like Waldo? No? Okay, well, you'll be much more difficult to recognize.
I should get one of those.
You probably should.
Richard, always a pleasure to have you on. What have you found for us lately?
Well, Ed, this weekend I did an auction. I don't get to do live auctions. One, they don't have many live auctions anymore. And two,
What do you mean by you did an auction? You participated in an auction?
I went
sponsored?
I went to an auction.
Went to a live auction?
I went to a live auction, and a little small one I haven't been to in probably 10 years. But they had something interesting coming up, and I was in the States, so I said, what the hell? Let's go there.
Lee, I'm thinking we should do a show on auctions.
We probably should.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of material passes through them.
They do.
Well,
most of it, of course, is online now, but
Well, and in fact, a couple things I'm going to show you surprised me.
And sometimes they're online and in person. Richard, was this auction online as well?
No, it was not. It was You had to be there to get it.
Be there, be square.
Yeah. So this is kind of a continuation of one of our last conversations about chapbooks. So in the auction, there was a set of chapbooks. A dealer friend of mine who happened to be nearby wanted to see what I bought, and he said to me, "Oh, I'm interested in this one." I said, "Well, let me do my homework." This is actually the piece here. And you can notice, this is not what I'd call a great condition piece, but it's very early. It was published in Boston by actually a very famous printer, Samuel Hall, 1793. And his story is interesting. To sidebar quickly, he actually had the third printing press in the state of Massachusetts, the first printing press in Salem, Massachusetts. He later moves that press to Cambridge, and then it goes into Boston. At one time, he actually was printing at Harvard University.
wow.
Now, we all know that Benjamin Franklin was a printer and learned the skill with his brother, so it was he must have been around in the early 1700s as well?
Well,
or at least the printing press perhaps was.
Well, yeah, he was born in 1740. This book is actually from 1793. He died in 1807. So and he actually, I think his wife was related to Benjamin Franklin, just to make it interesting. But what was interesting, I did started to do some research, as I usually do, and I have a favorite institution which I go to their catalog to see if they have it in their collection, because they do early American imprints. And the irony of it is that their catalog had a very unique comment. They said that their copy was on microfilm, and that there was possibly a copy at another Massachusetts historical society. Well, it got me to thinking, this is one of the issues that we've all run into from time to time. One, if this institution doesn't have it and it's only on microfilm, and its other local historical society has only the known copy that they're referring to, one, this must be uncommon, and two, why am I finding this copy? And the person who sold it to me said that this institution was had deaccessioned this and was throwing it away. So I decided that I needed to follow up. So I actually ended up contacting this historical society. They're only in their building 3 hours a week. I caught up with them, and I asked them specifically if this was supposed to be in their inventory. And after some time, they got back to me and said, "We have no record of it in our, having been part of our collection, and therefore, we don't know that we would be missing it." So,
Oh my!
so, but the question I had in my mind, had this been stolen from their institution?
Sure.
Because I think it's a fairly rare piece, but they are not laying claim to it, and therefore I feel comfortable now in terms of offering it. And the other institution is interested in buying it. So I just wanted to bring to our attention how sometimes these old pieces have little backstories to them.
Very nice. Good one.
Yeah. So the other thing I found this weekend,
And I'm guessing a nice little profit for Richard Mori.
well, I hope so. We will discover that. So, do you know what you're looking at in Lee?
Ooh, looks like six rows of six, and seven columns and 6 rows of 7. That's 6 times 7, 42 stars there.
Actually, it's 39 stars. It's 3 rows of 6 and 3 rows of 7.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay.
I think I got
The stars are a little different size.
39. That's around the 1870s.
1876 to be exact.
Ooh,
And in fact, printed on the border of the flag is the date 1876. And notice all the flags around the American flag.
the
these
state
are-
flags.
They're country flags.
Oh,
They're all foreign countries. Probably it's hard to tell, but
well, there's Japan with the,
Yeah, I
the
can see
red
Japan.
sun on the left.
there's Japan, there's Argentina, Bolivia, Guatemala, Siam, Turkey, Portugal, Spain, Australia, Russia, Switzerland, Holland, Belgium, Germany, a whole bunch of them.
What a
And-
curious piece! Did you get that at the same auction?
I did. Now, what this is this is called the international flag. And so far, my research is, which is not complete yet, but it seems that this was probably sold or part of the international exhibit at the 1876 World's Fair, which is
The 100th anniversary of America.
Yeah.
So,
This
Richard, that would have been the 1876 Centennial Exhibition in Philadelphia, right?
exactly the first World's Fair
In America,
in America. And it's a very important event. It celebrated the 100th anniversary of the founding of the United States of America. And it was a huge success. And there's actually a lot of artifacts from that. That could be a whole show all by itself. But I'm still doing more research on that, but I believe this is a fairly rare piece. I'm not finding examples of it in many places. And I'm looking forward to doing more homework. The other thing, I just...
Ever the student of books, doing his homework.
Well, that's the fun of this business.
It is.
I did-
necessary part.
Yeah, The other
And you're not something like that. You're not scanning the barcode and throwing it up on Amazon.
no. And you're not likely to catch me doing that anyways.
Anyway,
Not my thing. But I did want to take advantage of this opportunity to mention again, we've talked about it in briefly terms in the past.
the Boston Shadow Fair.
Yeah, Books in Boston, October 28th at the Hilton, right across the street from the Sheraton Hotel in downtown Boston. And I have one of my good friends is going to be, you are very familiar with, is going to be attending.
Who's that?
Well, oh God, a dealer from Georgia. I forget her name. Let's see.
That wouldn't happen to be Linn from Ridge Books in Calhoun, Georgia, would it?
That's it.
That's it. And I'm very excited about it. I have started pulling stuff already, and I have all my reservations.
Well, that's fantastic, and I'll tell you, they're lining up. We in 3 weeks we've 3/4 full in
That's
terms
right.
of dealers.
That's great.
So we're real excited about this, and people are really embracing it and getting excited about it. We've got some really big names. It's on our website. If you go to booksinboston.com, you can see the dealer list. I don't want to go down the list because if I start naming names, I'm going to forget somebody and I'm going to make somebody unhappy. So go to the website, booksinboston.com.
Booksinboston.com.
Yep, and it is going to be a fun event. I promise you.
It's going to be wild.
I'm really looking forward to it. And then the opportunity to the next day go to the other show and to do a little sightseeing. And I've never been to Boston before.
Well, you actually, here's the secret, Lee. You set up on Friday, and where did you make your reservation?
There at the hotel.
Oh, this is going to get easy. It's a 4-minute walk from our hotel. You go right across the street through the Sheraton.
And I can go Friday night.
Yeah, and you can go Friday night. Starts at 4:00, I believe. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you flyers, Lee, a show card, and so that you and all the other dealers can hand them out on the floor, and we'll do a little guerrilla marketing.
Okay, sounds good. I also emailed you to say that if you needed me to be half a booth.
Oh, yes,
that I would do that.
Yeah, we're going to do that. We're kind of playing that out. But I think we're going to do that. I think it'll be better for you as well.
Well, it will be.
Lee, is this your most geographically far-flung book fair that you've done?
Yes, it is, because we've always just driven, like maybe 500, 600 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm flying and I'm shipping my books to Richard.
Well, I wish both of you much success with the show. We'll talk about it again and remind all of our listeners when and where it's going to be, booksinboston.com. Otherwise, Richard, always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Well, thank you, Ed and Lee. It's nice to be here.
We love to see Richard on the road.
Well, till next time.
Okay, bye-bye.
Ciao, everybody. The Rare Book Cafe, the Coffee Break Edition. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.